Hello, fellow members of the SCPGA. This is Tony Chavez, your host for the Pro2Pro podcast. And we have another edition. We're meeting another wonderful pro, the one and only Mike Vandergoes. Mike, how are you?
Doing great, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for taking the time. As I mentioned before, this is a platform for PGA pros to get to know each other. And so, with that, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career, what club you're on, and so on.
I started my career in the golf business at Industry Hills. Uh, Moved up from a cart attendant to the golf shop. Uh, was going to get out of the golf business, and our past section president, Mr. Dave Carollo, asked me to come by and talk to him. And he talked me out of getting out of the business, and I worked for him for, I want to say, close to 10 years at South Hills Country Club. And from there, I went to Pelican Hill, did a lateral move. I went from being a second assistant at South Hills to a first assistant at Pelican Hill. I was only at Pelican Hill for about a year, maybe a little less, and went to Illinois and opened up a facility out there in Champaign-Urbana. It was a great learning opportunity. When I got there, there was no golf course. I remember the first time I went and met the vice president of Eastern operations for Western Golf. His name was Kenny Wynn, and we went to Champaign-Urbana, and I remember a gentleman by the name of Mike Martin had a big green Suburban, and we all got in the car and we were going to go look at the golf course. And they're talking about the golf course like it was right there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm not going to say anything. I feel pretty stupid because I can't see anything
Mhm.
past all the corn. Kenny pulls me aside. He says, well, you did a real good job interview. And he said, would you like to go for dinner? And I'm like, sure. So we go to dinner, and I looked at Kenny. I said, I do have one question for you. And he said, what's that? And I said, I didn't see a golf course. And he said, no, there's no golf course parts. And I said, Kenny, I'm a first assistant. I've never done this before. I said, I don't know how to build a golf course. He said, you'll do fine.
So you get to see the golf course being built from ground zero.
Yep.
And then after that, golf brought you back to Southern California?
Yes. Western Golf contract with, at that time it was called Stone Creek, was not being renewed. And so I wanted to stay with Western Golf. They brought me back to California. I was the director of golf at Heritage Palms in Palm Springs.
Hmm.
I was there for about a year and a half, and then I was basically asked to go to Ocean Trails, which was in Rancho Palos Verdes, and decided to make that move. Unbeknownst to myself, obviously we had a little slide that happened, and so make a long story short, the owners didn't manage the insurance proceeds very well,
Oops.
and Credit Suisse First Boston took over because they were the lender on the golf course. And shortly after that, Mr. Trump purchased it and worked for him for a couple of years. And then I went back to Western Golf, worked at TPC Valencia, which is now called the Oaks Club at Valencia. I was there about 14 years. When the development of the homes with TPC Valencia from New Hall Land was complete, I knew that they were going to sell the facility. So I went out on my own and became the general manager at Saticoy Country Club, and then moved up to Oakhurst in Northern California, and then got an opportunity to be at Los Serranos to come back to my hometown. My wife didn't want to move after her wife died and passed away. She didn't want to go back up north, so that's when I came back down. I was at Los Serranos for about a year, and then I got a phone call to see if I would be interested up here at Stockdale.
But look at us now. The reason why we started with this podcast is because we cannot have all 1,900 associates and members in one room. So this, world of virtual meetings allows us to connect and allows us to not only connect but also um, leave a little legacy in the way of a podcast. So I love it. If you could see Mike Vandergos as a young associate with all the experience that you have now, what career advice would you give to a young version of yourself?
Be patient. I would also say get certified in a certain field that really interests you. There are so many avenues in golf that you can take, and everybody is looking for somebody who specializes in a certain field. If it's teaching, if it's junior golf, if it's merchandising, if it's tournament operations, if it's golf cart fleet management, if it's inventory, uh, if it's buying. So really kind of focus on what you enjoy from this experience as a golf professional and get certified in that, because you're going to make yourself much more desirable, much more valuable, and follow what makes you happy. Don't follow the money. I know everybody wants a better car, a bigger house, and it's easy to kind of lose track of what you want to do with your life when you follow the dollar bill to try to get a better quality of life. That a better quality of life is being able to go home and not stress about everything else.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Mike. Any departing words as we
Tony,
wrap up?
I appreciate you doing this. It's a great way for people to get to know all of us within the section, and we don't get we don't get the time to sit down and talk to each other the way we should. And I think that we all need to make a little bit of time, especially when we go to annual meetings. Don't go and sit down next to people that you know. Sit down with next to people that you don't know. Network with your fellow golf pros, because the more you know about them, the easier it is for you to pick up the phone and ask for help. Because guess what? We have a plethora of knowledge in this section. And if I had any questions as it relates to uh, golf, you would be one of the first ones I would call as well.
Thank you very much, Mike Vandergos. And with that, fellow members of the Southern California PGA, this is a wrap up, another podcast on the books. Thank you very much. And I am looking for that next pro that would like to spend some time with us, chatting about career, about life, and about the game that we all love, the game of golf. With that, Mike, thank you very much. I'll see you at the turn.
Thank you, Tony.